And if a hearing aid would help you. Miracle Ear products are so lightweight, natural sounding, and nearly invisible. Even you won't know you're wearing one.
People don't notice my hearing aids. They're nearly invisible. They just don't notice them.
I have to be honest, it isn't very noticeable. In fact, it's very hard to tell whether or not you have it or not.
Need another reason to call? Every Miracle Ear branded solution comes with an unprecedented 3-year warranty. You'll also get a risk-free 30-day money-back guarantee. Plus, the exclusive Miracle Ear experience provides you with ongoing follow-up care for the life of your hearing aid. Call for your free hearing and video otoscope test or your free Better Hearing Kit. Call now.
Call 1-800-927-2484 to schedule a free hearing test today at a Miracle Ear location near you. Be sure to ask about our new Genius technology, available exclusively from Miracle Ear. Call 1-800-927-2484. With Miracle Ear, you'll like what you hear.
Let's take a look at things that happened for the very first time through the decades. On this day in 1940, Booker T. Washington was immortalized on a U.S. stamp. Part of the Famous American series, Washington was the nation's first African American to be featured on a stamp. The World Health Organization was established today in 1948. Created by the members of the UN, the WHO is responsible for monitoring the state of the world's health and to assist improving the health status of all nations.
Let's take a look now at how these notables made their marks as we continue on this day through the decades. On April 7th, 1915, the soulful singer Billie Holiday was born in Philadelphia. 41 years after her death, Holiday was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Today in 1939 in Detroit, Francis Ford Coppola was born. Son of a composer and musician, Francis gained notoriety with his screenwriting ability, later jumping into the director's chair with films like the Godfather series. The man who coined the phrase, "the greatest show on earth," died on this day, April 7th in 1891. Phineas Taylor Barnum was born in Connecticut, but moved to New York at a young age. Founder of the Ford Motor Company, Henry Ford, died today in 1947. Ford wasn't the first to build a car or to implement the production line, but he was the first to successfully make them both feasible on a massive scale. Also on this date in 1939, Sir David Frost was born. The Englishman who used satire to talk about the news before The Daily Show would go on to a decades-long career interviewing the famous and infamous. In 1977, his interview with Richard Nixon catapulted him onto the international stage when he got the ex-president to acknowledge the mistakes he made involving Watergate. We dig through the archives to hear David Frost discuss a history-making interview in today's Through the Decades profile.
In the late 60s, David Frost presided over his own talk show with clipboard firmly in hand. His specialty was getting the famous to share the most intimate secrets. Arthur Godfrey, for instance, told David that his sex life improved after he was sterilized. But unquestionably, Mr. Frost's biggest interview coup came a few years after his regular talk show had gone off the air. His post-Watergate interview with Richard Nixon is what Frost is best remembered for. And what he remembers is what happened when the camera wasn't rolling.
He liked to wait 5 minutes before coming to the business of the meeting, so we were making small talk, which I knew that he wasn't very comfortable with, so I was thinking of something to say, and so I said, something about Brezhnev was in that day's Los Angeles Times, and Nixon immediately, very seriously said, he said, I wouldn't want to be a Russian leader. They never know when they're being taped. And he had that wonderful ability to say those things without realizing the dramatic irony. On one occasion, I was going back to do a show in Los Angeles, and he said, are you getting paid for it? I said, certainly. And he said, well, make sure you pay your taxes, otherwise you can get in a lot of trouble. Tax advice from our end.
The small talk led to 29 hours of substantive talk. David Frost interviewed President Nixon post-Watergate over a 4-week period.
And why did you do it?
irresistible, Anthony, you know, in the sense that he was by far the most interesting person in the world to try and get to talk to.
You basically asked him for an apology.
Yes.
Why do you think he gave it to you?
I think it was the pressure of that 5.25 hours.
Frost got the ex-president to admit what the Washington press corps couldn't, when Nixon said, quote, "I let the American people down, and I have to carry that burden with me for the rest of my life." 45 million people worldwide tuned in to watch, making it the most watched news interview in history. Frost would go on to interview countless notables through the decades, and in 1993 was knighted for his accomplishments.
I was on the phone the other day to a restaurant, and I was saying David Frost, and someone said, you should say Sir David Frost, because you've got to remember, you've changed your name. It's your name now. So, I mean, you know, men can't change their name in marriages, but they can in this particular case. Some people give wonderful advice, because the dubbing by the Queen takes place next month. And someone said, as a bit of good advice, they said, just remember, don't move your head.
Many say his sense of humor, warmth, and charm helped him land interviews with the powerful, the influential, and the acclaimed.
So you wear red socks every day?
No, I sometimes have started even wearing yellow socks. Colourful socks, yes.
Sir David Frost passed away from a heart attack at age 74.
Kerry Sayers, Ellie Pye Hong, and Bill Curtis take you through the decades.
Glasses and contacts. You need them to see, but they put such a strain on your life, you miss precious moments. Due to new advances in vision improvement technology, LASIK is now affordable for almost everyone, with procedures starting as low as $299 per eye and over 1 million procedures performed by our trusted independent surgeons. LASIK surgery is a sensible, safe, and affordable solution to improve your vision. Our simple 3-step process begins with a free evaluation, followed by an extensive preoperative exam to determine if you're a candidate for LASIK eye surgery. Depending on the results of your evaluation and eye exam, you and your surgeon will choose the LASIK option that works best for you. So call now to talk to a LASIK Vision Institute counselor and schedule your free evaluation. That's a $100 value free. Call the LASIK Vision Institute for your free evaluation and enjoy more of your life.
Call 1-800-306-1472. 1-800-306-1472.
At ChristianMingle.com, dating is actually fun, because when you're meeting good people, good things follow, and happiness happens. And for a limited time, you can get 20% off when you subscribe right now. So you can find that head over heels, talk till 2 a.m., laugh till it hurts kind of love that happens around here all the time. Start mingling today. You can get 20% off the all-new ChristianMingle.com when you subscribe right now.
People who have been diagnosed with mesothelioma have many questions. How did I get this disease? What are my treatment options? How will this affect? You need answers, which is why we offer a free book written by medical professionals who have treated mesothelioma.
Call toll-free at 1-800-500-6313 or go to mesoonly.com.
There's no obligation, so call toll-free at 1-800-500-6313.
When we continue our journey tomorrow, we'll relive the best stories of the week, including the accidental invention that has since become a household name used around the world. Plus, when a new television network burst onto the scene with a successful campaign that brought in younger audiences. And we're remembering when all eyes turned to the Vatican for the final farewell to a defining spiritual leader. It's all tomorrow, April 8th, on Through the Decades.
That'll do it for us today. I'm Bill Curtis. As we leave, one last look back at April 7th, Through the Decades.
Reaching Decades for April 7th. This month in 1985, the Parents Music Resource Center was created. Former Second Lady Tipper Gore co-founded the center after her daughter recognized sexual references in a song sung by Prince. Our feature recounts the events surrounding the 1985 Senate hearings, which led to adult content warning labels being placed on music albums. Join us now for Warning Parental Advisory here on Decades. Today is April 7th.
PMRC were attacking different bands from Sheena Easton to Prince to Judas Priest with songs like Eat Me Alive.
You had to clean up its act or suffer the consequences. Everything depended on how rock responded.
They weren't just going to put a sticker on a record. This was going to be used as certain records from being carried in the stores.
It was rock and roll Armageddon.
Well, as long as rock's been around, there's always been people trying to neuter it.
I decided to get involved because I began to see the kind of rock lyrics that my kids were being exposed to. It shocked me, made me angry.
When I was a kid, I had this record that had a lot of string on it, and I blasted it out, and my dad came in one day, and he goes, "You son of a bitch, what the are you listening to? You're gonna go to hell, you little sucker!"
Well, I decided to get involved because I was insane. To think we had a chance against those powerful women.
I heard all these songs about masturbation, oral sex, F-wording, and it was terrible.
I think if Tipper Gore came out and said rock music's great, I think all kids should listen to it. We'd all be country artists.
People thought I was out of touch living in the mountains.
It all started in 1985. I was a lobbyist in Washington, and we were trying to get a bill passed called the blank tape tax, which really had nothing to do with the PMRC at first, but it would have meant billions for the record companies. All I had to do was bend over and kiss a little ass.